turned on American Horror Story, my Roanoke Nightmare, in Reno now, at my grandmother's, terrified yet transfixed as each new twist unveiled the level of both identification and revulsion. Julia Kristeva writes of abjection. The abject self is cast out in revulsion. I watched the violence and bloodshed on TV with fearful disgust. Chapter 6 echoed the Blair Witch Project. Now, the whole television show was supposed to be reality TV. Sure. I knew it was still not real. Just another meta mindfuck, as they love to do. Producer Sydney was dead set on making a reality TV show revisiting the house, filming it no matter what the human cost. I thought everyone was going to die throughout the remaining episodes, and they did. All of these Hollywood actors were so concerned with fans, reading, money. Yeah, but Dominic Banks ranted about screen time being the most important thing. But at the cost of human life, suffering, hindering all the reality show tropes, the lives destroyed by dreams of fame and reality shows dashed. The whole thing just terrified me. For Return to Roanoke, 3 Days in Hell, actress Angela Bassett played actress Monet to Miss May. In chapters 1 through 5, the reenactment, she played Lee Harris. Adina Porter played Lee Harris in chapter 6. It's confusing, I know. Monet didn't like the real Lee much. Both were alcoholics. The producers could get in more trouble for giving Monet to Miss May alcohol than if Lee killed someone. They say that in the beginning. Alcohol commercials followed on Grandma's cable. No thanks. I don't want any part of that. I used to be an alcoholic. The Hollywood actress Agnes Mary Winstead played the butcher in the reenactment. She was diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder in the show, like I was, like I am, like I have been. I am a peaceful, nonviolent, well-medicated schizoaffective. Unlike Kathy Bates, the butcher on TV. In chapter 6, Kathy Bates as Agnes Mary Winstead rampaged down Hollywood Boulevard in her costume with a knife. I strolled down Hollywood Boulevard on my last day in Los Angeles to take photos of my favorite queer Greta Garbo star. In chapter 7, Agnes killed the reality TV producer and his assistant with a butcher knife. Like Grandpa Dewey tried to kill Grandma Janet. It was not successful. I was living in my grandma's basement from October 2016 to February 2017. The schizoaffective butcher who killed people was also living in a basement too. Agnes went on a killing spree when not allowed to be on the Meta reality TV show Return to Roanoke. Was FX TV trying to give me a coronary? Yes, sure. In chapter 7, Agnes Mary Winstead was murdered by the real ghost butcher, another actress, sure, who was even more terrifying than the mortal actress playing another actress. Jesus, so meta, damn. Yet all the trauma, and I knew this well, was just television. Escapism. No matter how meta-dynamic the show became, I knew none of the things I saw on the magic screen were real. My life was real. My writing about the show, this novel I'm reading to you on YouTube, is real. My schizoaffective delusions, however, are not real. Medication and therapy allows me to differentiate between them. Roanoke, in my opinion, is the scariest season yet. Now, this was before Cold, however. that might have outdone it in Apocalypse. Dang. But anyway, back in 2016, I thought Roanoke was the scariest thus far. Blaming everything on a woman with schizoaffective disorder, that was hitting below the belt for me. That was getting personal. I know how the mentally ill are stigmatized by the media as violent. Most of us are more likely to be victims of violence. I fear violence, seek safety, see our sanctuary. The absolute last thing I want is my death. There's enough death in the world already. November 2016. I sat up in Grandma's living room at the conclusion of this week's American Horror Story episode. Heard a voice say, "The ancestral home calls. It summoned me home." I came into my basement bedroom, rubbed myself with coconut oil nude, put on my feather-edged bathrobe as I so love to do. I heard, in my mind, "Your grandparents' Janet Dewey's ghost will protect you and guide you through this transition." The painting of Katie I had in there stared at me reproachfully, reminding me she was dead now. The painter of that painting blocked or unfriended me on Facebook, yet now follows me on Twitter. I don't know. Heartbreaking me in my grief. Although my life had parallels to Roanoke, it was televised horror, not real. My life is a lot more chill than that. Transitions are always difficult. Moving is always difficult. I didn't anticipate how difficult this move would be. I was just trying to stay out of the hospital, honestly, now and always. I drank yet another manic pot of coffee watching Roanoke. I often stay up late. All I could do now was lock the doors, sit tight, and hope and write until I could calm down. Maybe have a piece of weed chocolate. Hopefully I'd feel better in a bit. All I could do was what I could do. At this point, it's hide out in Reno, in the snow-covered hole of my grandmother's basement. Hoping American Horror Story Hollywood Cockroach Apartment didn't become American Horror Story My Reno Nightmare. Jesus, no. The twist that American Horror Story My Roanoke Nightmare delivers is that Dewey's ghost, so I imagined, could kill me in my future house of the rising sun. I mean, if this is real, which it's not. But I hoped none of my ghosts, my familial ghosts, were murderous. Katie, my wife's ghost, was never that way in Hollywood. Waning hypervigilance from my PTSD and anxiety. I took a Xanax, put on my footy pajamas. I would check in with my mental health team in Los Angeles when I could. Email my therapist sooner rather than later. Certainly not now, it's middle of the night. During business hours when she could respond. I put on my feather bathrobe, spritzed Yves Saint Laurent black opium, my favorite scent, got in a blanket fort, smelled good smells, put in my headphones, wrote comfortably with my cat next to me until it was time to sleep. The doors were locked. No one would come down to the basement, I thought. It scared me that Grandma didn't lock her back doors. Different generation, but we've been okay so far. I was just now afraid that the charter internet guys who had been in there, seen my basement place, were not going to come back. Rape and rob me, maybe. I mean, I always imagine the worst. Now that they know I'm a tiny, vulnerable woman living in the basement of another elderly woman who doesn't fucking lock her doors. Fuck, people. I feared domestic discord with Grandma and her grandson's family. They lived in the back house as much as I feared what could happen from leaving the back door unlocked during the day. Does it feel nice to people to leave the back door unlocked and have nothing happen? Like for other people? Not me. It scares me deeply to feel vulnerable and exposed like that. I'm afraid of all the rednecks and drugs around Reno. The way I unwittingly or helplessly flaunt my wealth and just move to naivete all over Yelp and the internet. costly signaling. I just got the internet down here and I'm scared of it too. I'm afraid I'll be the target of crime like Kim Kardashian. But I'm only mentally ill with delusions of Kardashian fame, not like her, Jesus. AA taught me, fake it till you make it. Does that always work? I escaped Los Angeles by the skin of my teeth. I prayed that my suffering would be over. The internet wasn't working. So I went out in the basement naked with a tampon string hanging in my blue feather-edged bathroom. Unplugged and reset the router. Now it worked. That was all I could do. Grandma was upstairs alone with the hearing aids off. Apparently, she couldn't hear anything when she took her hearing aids out at night. I took a peek out of my computer cave at Twitter. Saw what other people's reactions to this week's episode were. Apparently, tonight's American Horror Story Chapter 7 terrified everyone else on the internet. Scared is the appropriate response. People were shook. I was not the only one. I thought back to various things I published. Always publishing soon. That might cause terrible results. Or might make people upset. Or worried. I decided I can't back out of any of this now. My fate is sealed. Maybe it's all terrible. Maybe it's all great. Kind of can't decide, moment to moment. I suppose that's the bipolar disorder, all the extremes. It is what it is. I just have to surrender to the universe and let this adventure happen at this point. Just try to be cautious, careful, do everything right. I was flattered, however, by what a magazine editor said on Facebook about me being a professional badass. I mean, come on, who would be flattered? The actors on American Horror Story were seduced by Hollywood dreams. I used to be, but did I even want to be famous anymore? I didn't know anymore. My ghosts comforted me with the twanging melodies of Dolly Parton that night.